Some stories crawl out of the grave. Others are buried beneath ice and silence. From the bone-dry heart of the Australian outback to the snow-blind trails of Siberia, terror doesn't knock, it waits. Here, we tell the tales that stay with you long after the fire's gone out. Zombies, vanished hikers, unsolved deaths, end-of-the-world whispers that echo through time. This is Aussie After Dark, the place where the line between fact and fear disappears. So light a candle, lock the doors, and don't blink. Because the story you're about to hear might just be true. And if you can take a second to subscribe, it really motivates and helps to continue these stories. Well, anyway, let's join Mason once more. Day 11. Betrayal runs deep. They said the end came with fire. They were wrong. It came with silence. The silence after the last scream. The stillness after the final shot. The breath you take when you realize you're still alive and wish you weren't. This is our final transmission. If you're hearing this, we made it out. But not all of us. We left the rail yard behind like a grave we didn't mark. The road to Moruca was scorched earth, blackened bitumen, fractured concrete, and ruin. Burned-out trucks lined the freeway like rusted corpses, their windows blown in. Ash piled in the seats. Bodies wrapped in blue tarps lay beside the barricades, 100 meters long. Silent, dignified, nameless. Elspeth counted 16 before her voice cracked and she stopped. Naya didn't count, didn't speak. Her bat swung loose at her side, part grief, part weapon, part prayer. She didn't cry, didn't blink, just kept walking forward like something sacred waited at the end of the road. Jenny walked beside me, bruised, limping slightly, her arm bound tight against her ribs, still upright, still holding the line. "We're close," she said. Her voice was dry as paper. 2 clicks west of the depot, the warehouse, that's the extraction point. I looked at her. And if it's empty? She didn't flinch, held my gaze, steady. Then we build something, from the bones, from the ash. We made camp behind a fractured concrete wall, an old tilt slab with rebar like exposed ribs. Wind pushed through the hollow windows like a ghost. The group moved slowly now, cautious, fractured. 19 civilians, 6 officers. That was all that remained. Lily curled against Tahi's side, eyes red but dry. Officer Halim stitched Meyer's arm by lantern light. Jenny cleaned a graze across her temple in silence. Naya sat beside me, still clutching that bat, like it was the only thing keeping her tethered to the ground. Then the count changed. Another survivor was gone by morning. No scream. No warning. No goodbyes. Just gone. And that's when Travis found it, buried deep inside a shredded pack from the gear Danny and Yusuf left behind. A folded map, ink markings, handwritten notes, a backup route, southwest, circled twice, and then a voice message, recorded 3 days earlier. He played it. Yusuf's voice filled the air, thin with static and guilt. "Mason, it's Yusuf. He made a deal. Danny said it was the only way. He planned to trade us. Said if we gave them the group, they'd let us walk. The signal. It wasn't rescue. It was bait. A cold zone. To wipe us clean." The message ended in static. Jenny didn't say a word. At first, then she spat into the dust like it tasted blood. He let us hear knowing it was a grave. She didn't stop there. She grabbed the recorder from Travis's hands and smashed it into the wall, over and over, until all that was left was cracked plastic and spit-flecked rage. Her knuckles bled. No one tried to stop her. I'd known her for years. But I'd never seen her like that. She stood in the silence, trembling with fury, and whispered like she was confessing to a god long dead. We should have killed them. There was nothing to say after that. We gathered around the fire. No warmth, just light. Tahi knelt beside the flames and began sketching out movement paths in the dust. Halim checked our ammo. Lily handed out the last of the dried fruit. Naya watched the smoke curl upward like it meant something. Maybe it did. We voted, quietly, solemnly, to scout the warehouse. It was all we had left. Hope was a weapon now. We carried it like everything else, scarred, dented, dirtied, but still in our hands. And we moved again, toward the unknown, because forward was the only way left. Day 12. The battle and the end. The warehouse loomed ahead, a rusting carcass wrapped in twisted fencing and bad omens. 16 civilians, 6 of us still in uniform, broken, bleeding, but breathing. Elspeth held her daughter close, whispering a lullaby no one but the girl could hear. Jenny moved beside me, rifle low. Naya adjusted the nails embedded in her bat. Travis limped, supporting Lily. We had made it. We thought. We stepped through the outer gate cautiously. I raised a hand. We're not looking for a fight. We have wounded, supplies to trade. We just want passage. No reply, just eyes staring from the shadows. Scavengers, 20 of them at least, armed, twitchy. Their faces smeared in soot, teeth like cracked porcelain. And then it hit me. They weren't survivors, not anymore. Just predators who'd found a watering hole. One man stepped forward, tattered army fatigues, eyes like burnt matchsticks. He raised a hand. For a heartbeat, I thought, maybe we could talk. But then his fingers dropped. Gunfire. It tore through the air, ripping apart the silence. The first shot cracked out, sharp, brutal. It hit Corporal Myers in the neck. He staggered, eyes wide, hand snapping to the side of his throat, where blood pumped through his fingers. But he didn't fall. He dropped behind a rusted steel drum, teeth clenched, gasping. "I'm hit, but not out," he rasped, voice wet with blood. His other hand fumbled for gauze from his vest, shoving it into the wound with grim determination. Beside him, Officer Halim hauled a screaming civilian behind a broken forklift, shielding them just before the second volley thundered through the open bay doors. Bullets chewed through crates, snapped pipes, punched into the concrete. One round caught Halim high in the chest. He buckled, breath stuttering. But he didn't cry out, just shoved the civilian down and reached for his sidearm. We'd prepared for this. "Return fire!" I roared. Chaos. Roland hurled his last grenade, a flare duct-taped to the side, and charged. He screamed. Not a man, but something primal. Bullets tore into his chest, but he made it to the barricade. The explosion obliterated 2 scavengers and blew open a side entrance. Jenny kicked through the breach, 2 clean headshots before her feet hit concrete. She moved like death in denim, graceful, merciless. Elspeth followed, swinging a steel pipe. She shattered a jaw, crushed a temple. Her daughter hid beneath a fallen shelf, eyes wide but silent. Travis took a round in the thigh, fell hard, but still managed to drag Lily behind a forklift. "Cover the girl," he wheezed. Sergeant Tahi held the flank with Officer Banks. Shotguns roared, bodies flew. Then Banks screamed, a hatchet buried in his ribs. Tahi avenged him with a shot to the attacker's face, so close it turned the man to paste. Then I saw her. Naya. She burst through the shattered steel doors of the loading zone, her silhouette cut against the burning haze behind her. Smoke curled around her like a cloak. Blood spattered across her shirt and jaw, teeth gritted, eyes burning holes into the man ahead. Danny. He stood hunched over a makeshift operations table. A scavenger map scrawled across torn cardboard and oil-stained blueprints. He'd shed his old clothes for scavenger leathers, dog tags stripped, a scavenged combat knife resting in his hand. His eyes didn't register shock, no guilt, just cold appraisal. He didn't flinch as Naya screamed. It wasn't a scream of rage. It was heartbreak turned inside out. She'd believed in him once. Her boots hit the ground like thunder. The bat, her father's, now sharpened and rimmed with rusted nails, sliced the air. Danny didn't back down. He came at her. They collided like animals. The sound of their impact, wet, raw, flesh on flesh. Her bat struck his ribs with a meaty crack. He grunted, faltered, but didn't fall. He grabbed her arm, twisted, forced her back into a stack of crates that exploded into splinters. The wind blasted from her lungs. Naya staggered, swung again. Danny ducked under the arc and slammed his elbow into her jaw. Her head snapped sideways. Blood sprayed from her lips. She didn't go down. He tackled her, driving her into the concrete floor with a sound like dropped meat. The knife skittered from his hand. They wrestled, rolling through soot and broken glass, hands clawing for eyes, hair, weapons, anything. She headbutted him, felt his nose break beneath the impact. He screamed and reeled. She kneed him in the groin. He howled, doubled over. She didn't hesitate. She grabbed the bat, raised it over her shoulder. He caught her arm, spun, and slammed her head first into the wall. Concrete met skull. She went limp for a second, just a second. He climbed on top of her, straddled her chest, fingers wrapping around her throat like iron cable. His broken nose bled onto her cheeks. He squeezed. She kicked and bucked, eyes bulging, lips turning blue. "You were never going to make it," Danny snarled, spittle flying from his teeth. "I did what I had to do. We would have all died out there." Her hand scrabbled uselessly against his arms. Her bat lay inches away. Too far. Too far. The knife gleamed in Danny's fist again, his left hand now shaking as he raised the blade high above his head. "No," Naya choked out. Barely a whisper.